Hey there, Tubanites. It's your friendly neighborhood gun lover here with yet another non-gun video. This is going to be another edger blade video, just to show you what you can make with an edger blade. Again, I don't know the quality of the steel. It's good enough to edge grass, I guess, but it's something to do, right? It's something to keep your hands busy. So this is how I wanted to show you before the big reveal. Oh my god. I wanted to show you how this started out. So here was the original shape of the edge blade, okay? I just traced it onto a piece of paper. Sorry about the tape marks there. Traced it onto a piece of paper, and I kind of figured out how I could make a little axe, a little tomahawk out of it is what I was shooting for. So what I did is I drew this out, and then I made a copy, and then I cut that copy out and kind of used it to create a template. And I could lift this up and show you, but it would all fall apart. So what I did, this is the template I made. So then when I traced it on a piece of wood, or traced it out on the piece of paper and cut it out, what I did is I cut this part off, and then I cut this is where the hole would be anyway. Then I cut this part off. I was like, wow, that looks kind of like an axe head, right? But then I got to thinking, well, I've got this little chunk of steel and this little chunk of steel, what can I do with those? So what I did is I ended up taking this chunk of steel and I flipped it over just like that, and I welded it. I have access to a welder at work, which is helpful. That right there to continue for a longer blade. And then I forget how I welded this one on. It was however it made it longer, something like that maybe, or probably more like that. Okay, so I welded them on there like that, and then once I welded them on there, I cut this, to make a more presentable straight line, and did the same thing back here and kind of angled this out to a point. So anyways, that's how I did that. But even if you don't have access to a welder and you just have like a Dremel, or you're patient enough to cut this out with like a file or a freaking hacksaw or something, that alone is not a bad little axe head. Now, I mean, that's only what, an inch and a half blade. It's nothing special, but I mean, it's something to do, right? Okay, so you see that's how I started. So then the fun part was, of course, you have to make a handle for an axe. So let's just go ahead and pull it out. You ready? You so excited? Pull that out. And you can see it turned out okay. Again, it's just an edger blade, so it's not like it's some amazing wonder steel, but I thought it turned out pretty good. Now the only thing I don't like about it, because it's an edger blade, it's very small, there's not a lot of heft to it. You're not gonna, it's not a camp axe, I guess the argument could be made it is a weapon, but there's really no practical use for it. So there's that out the door now. And I honestly, I haven't used it very hard yet, so I don't know about the durability, but I got some pretty large screws in there, bolts in there, and I kept the wood around the head nice and thick, so that should hold up over time, hopefully. And then onto the handle. This actually took a while. So this is a piece of cherry that someone gave me for my last job, and I don't know woods very well, I'll admit that now. But it was fairly hardwood, so it should be durable enough. But as you can see, I spent a lot of time carving little ivy, I don't even know what you call those, but I've seen those before. I've always liked those designs. It's the same thing I put in my son's knife handle that you saw in the last video. And I've actually done the same thing on one of my hunting knife handle that I made for it. But I think it turned out very well. I was always a sand and clear coat kind of guy. I liked the color of this wood, so I left it there. I didn't stain it, so I just clear coated this. But as I've watched more videos since then, apparently the thing to do is to put boiled linseed oil on that. So if I end up making another one of these, that's probably what I'm going to do. But anyways, it turned out well. It feels good in the hand. It's just another thing you can do when you're sitting there watching a YouTube video or watching, a movie or TV show or something like that you don't have to pay that close attention to unless that's your style. But I always like to keep my hands busy. I get a little stir crazy sometimes, and I need to work on something. As I said in my last video, my leather work's gotten a little better. I'm not going to say this is like some grade A achievement, but I think it's an improvement over the knife sheaths that I made. At the beginning I thought about making two pieces or having another piece that came across the front and buckled here, but that just seemed like a lot more trouble than it was worth. So I came up with this, and it's nothing real special, you know, it just slides in on the top just like so. And then of course I've got my paracord buckle, just like so, and then this piece slides just like so. And I know that doesn't look great, but my thought was I could use that to attach it to something, and that would keep, you know, this pulling together so nothing slides off. And this, you actually, I mean, you could slide this off, but you really got to work at it. You actually do have to tip it like that to get it off. So, but that's it. If you have any old edger blades laying around, or maybe even lawnmower blades, I haven't tried one of those yet, but there's a lot of bends and angles in those that would make it a little more difficult. But anyways, get out there, get your hands busy, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.